Have you ever wanted to test your network's defenses like a real attacker would? But, without spending months planning everything out by hand? Well, that's exactly what Caldera is for. Today, we're going to run our very first automated security mission from start to finish. So let's just dive right in. You see, in the old days, red team exercises were just a ton of manual work. Building, planning, executing, and then the debrief. It took forever. What Caldera does is automate that whole cycle, so you can run these really complex tests super fast and, more importantly, do it again and again. So, the big idea here is something called adversary emulation. This isn't just about running a simple vulnerability scan. No, this is about thinking and acting like a specific attacker to see exactly how your defenses hold up against their actual real-world methods. Okay, so here's our mission plan. We'll start with what makes this automation tick. Then we'll walk through the 3 main steps: building our attacker, launching the operation, and then digging into the results. And finally, we'll talk about why this whole thing is such a game changer. First up, let's take a closer look at how Caldera really transforms security testing from this massive manual headache into a stream of automated, useful insights. This quote from an experienced operator just nails the old pain point. You could spend weeks, even months, on a single exercise. And let's be real, that's a luxury most security teams just don't have. So, what's the secret sauce? How does Caldera pull off this automation? Well, it's all built on the MITRE ATT&CK framework. You can think of this as a giant encyclopedia of known adversary behaviors, and Caldera uses it like a playbook to build and run its automated attacks. All right, enough theory, let's get our hands dirty. Step 1 is to build our digital adversary. This is where we get to decide exactly how our simulated attacker is going to operate. And the building blocks for any adversary are its TTPs. That's tactics, techniques, and procedures. A simple way to think about it is tactics are the what, like exfiltrate data. Techniques are the how, like compressing that data first. And procedures are the specific commands used to do it. Now, in Caldera, this is actually surprisingly easy. You just select your target machine, they call it an agent, pick from this whole library of pre-built TTPs, and then you just bundle them up into a named adversary profile. For this mission, we're going to go with one called GRU Unit. Okay, now for the really fun part. We've built our adversary, so it's time to launch the operation and watch it all unfold against our target in real time. And we're live. The operation kicks off. First command out of the gate from our adversary's playbook: create a staging directory on the target machine. And boom, just like that, we get instant feedback. The command was a success. A new folder has been created, which gives our little adversary a place to work from. All right, next up, the adversary tries to copy a file. Now, this could be anything, maybe a recon script or some tool it wants to use later on. But hang on, look at this. It failed. And honestly, this is just as important as a success. It means some kind of defense, maybe just a simple permission setting, actually blocked the action. And this really highlights what makes for a realistic emulation. In a real attack, things don't always go according to plan. Seeing these failures gives you super critical information about which parts of your defense are actually doing their job. Okay, the operation is over. The commands have run, we've logged all the successes and failures. Now it's time for the after-action debrief to make sense of everything that just happened. You can read about attack techniques all day long, but there is just no substitute for seeing them play out on your own network. And this is really where Caldera shines, turning all those raw event logs into a story you can actually understand. The Debrief plugin pretty much gives you everything you need. You get this awesome visual graph of the attack chain, a super detailed log of every single command, and it's all mapped back to the MITRE ATT&CK tactics. Plus, you can export the whole thing for your final report. And this is the kind of clarity you get. Every single action is broken down by tactic and technique with a clear status and a timestamp. This makes it so easy to see the attacker's path and pinpoint exactly where your defenses worked or where they didn't. So let's tie this all together. Let's talk about why this automated, really structured approach is so powerful for pretty much any security team out there. An automated plan is great and all, but what happens if you spot something interesting mid-operation and you want to investigate? Do you have to stop everything and build a whole new adversary from scratch? Nope, Absolutely not. Caldera actually lets you inject manual commands on the fly. In this example, you can see the operator is installing Nmap, a network scanning tool, directly onto the compromised agent during the operation. That level of flexibility is just incredible for adaptive, real-time testing. So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. Caldera lets you automate incredibly complex exercises, test your defenses against realistic bad guy behaviors, get clean visual reports to understand what happened, and even adapt your attack in real time. It's a huge leap forward in both efficiency and effectiveness. Hey, if this explainer helped you get a better handle on Caldera, hitting that subscribe and like button really is a huge help for us to create more content just like this. Thanks for watching.